Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at Shadow TYRANITAR in the Open Master League. If you most likely already noticed, the sound is a little bit different. I literally just moved and I think it's going to sound a little bit different for sure, but it's going to be hopefully better in the future when more stuff is in here. But yeah, this is going to be my first video from a new flat, which I am quite excited about because I'm also a little bit more excited now towards doing videos as well again. I feel like it's sometimes like if you just like work every single day and you don't really have a break in between, it's kind of being a little bit tough sometimes. But honestly, I'm so excited to be back kind of with it. Of course, yeah, currently most likely the audio is a little bit more different and not ideal compared to what it's usually going to be, but it's going to be better in the future for sure. Anyway, we're going to be here now in the Open Master League. You have mostly seen that there were not as many videos recently on the channel. That was mainly because I was moving. And also currently I don't have really a great internet connection yet. Going to be changing on the 27th. So then I can definitely do a little bit more as well again on this channel, like streaming or whatever. But yeah, anyway, we're going to have a different kind of location, which is going to be nice. And we can also see now that Landorus is going to have a great time here. Also, I have no idea what happened over the last like 5-6 days on YouTube. I have not checked YouTube at all. I don't have internet here at all really. So it is a little bit of a tougher one. So if any like top team or whatever happened from someone else, then maybe, and I don't know about it or anything like this, then yeah, just let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section in general what happened the last few days here in Pokemon Go, in YouTube, whatever. I was just building furniture. So yeah, let me know in the comment section. We can move on to the second battle. We're going to have here the Shadow TYRANITAR going to be able to hardwall the Mewtwo, and the opponent had already enough here, so we can move on to the third battle. Hisuian Everluck is not really an ideal Pokemon for this team to deal with. We have one Pokemon that's really great for it, which is of course going to be the TYRANITAR, and we're going to have two Pokemon that are kind of more neutral, as both Pokemon, basically both Tapu Bulu as well as our Landorus, hit this thing for super effective damage, but also get hit for super effective damage. And I decided to swap out into the Landorus, hoping that they would swap out as well, which they don't. And so I'm 2 shields down in this battle, which makes it already way worse. Anyway, the team itself is actually quite a fun one. We're going to have a lead here where Tapu Bulu is the worst possible Pokemon, for example, in the matchup against the Ho-Oh. So what we want to do is we want to bait out the Ho-Oh, which we can do with hopefully the Landorus in general, or like in general, like if we encounter a Ho-Oh in the lead, Landorus is going to be able to still get to the Stone Edge in time, which is kind of important. If we're going to have it in the bag, we're going to have the hardest answer as well. If there's Say-Stop, for example, a Ho-Oh, we have the hardest answer with the TYRANITAR in the bag here. And TYRANITAR is actually so good in the current meta, and it's going to be even becoming better in the meta in the future, because we know already there's going to be the Dusk main form and the, I forgot the other one, like the both Necrozma forms basically coming in. Against the one with a Steel-type charge move, it's not as ideal because, yeah, of course, Steel-type charge move is going to hit you for super effective damage and going to one-shot you most likely. But for the one with like Moongeist Beam, it is going to be actually a hard wall to it, which is kind of cool. And so I'm definitely excited to try out TYRANITAR in the future as well, especially after the global Go Fest. But let's move on to the next opponent. The core of the core of Tapu Bulu and the TYRANITAR is, by the way, nearly perfect. Like, your lead is going to be able to resist counter, which is not existing in the Master League, which I find quite interesting. Like, I mean, as soon as you're going to have the Go Fest, I'm very likely going to build my Mars Shadow for the Master League, so definitely stay tuned for that. But also just in general, it is kind of an interesting thing that we don't really have a counter or like a Fang-type Pokemon for the Open Master League that's really good. Meloetta's other form would be also part fighting, which might have some play in the current meta, but I don't know, like what kind of fighting type Pokemon would you like to see being decent for the Open Master League? I would really like to see Boswell getting like a buff with like a coverage move for like rock typing or something like this. I feel like this would be kind of cool for it. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you feel about fighting type Pokemon and which you think could be good in the future. Anyway, we're going to have here the Landorus against the Zygarde, a matchup that is quite neutral, a matchup that is kind of okay for me, especially because it's better than the Smackdown TYRANITAR in the back here, but it's still a matchup that is also quite awkward. So, we're gonna see here that we can go for a Sensei Storm. The opponent still tries to go for a Crunch. They're like triple debuffed, I think, at this point. So they're basically doing no damage here against us. And as you're gonna see, we can swap into the Tapu Bulu, and they have the Ho-Oh in the back. And this is where TYRANITAR shines, and the opponent already had enough, and we can move on to the next one. So, Ho in the lead. This is exactly kind of where this team is trained for. We're going to try to go for Stone Edge here, but I actually decided to overfarm. A lot of people just try to go for 3 fast movement, swap out with a Ho-Oh. This person does not do that. They decide to go for the Brave Bird. But what you're going to see now is you're going to see the opponent swapping into the Palkia. And there is an interesting thing about the Palkia matchup for Landorus. Landorus can flip this one, and we can guarantee flip this one now. And this is so important because if you remember, we have the best answer for the Ho-Oh still lurking in the back here with the Shadow Tyrannitar. And so what we're gonna see here is a Lugia coming in, which is gonna be okay. Hopefully they're gonna use a shield here. They do not, and this is going to be quite awkward. If we can still reach another move, can we at least get a shield now? That would be kind of nice. We do. And we can go into the Tapu Bulu because I thought, against Lugia, Tapu Bulu is going to be a better bet because yeah, I still need basically the Tyrannitar for both Pokemon from the opponent. But as you can see here, Sacred Fire is coming through. We can go for the full farm down. And in the back is going to be still the Lugia lurking. We can try to go for a charge move, but we're going to be in a little bit of a tough spot because it comes down now to just a few HP basically. We do some nice damage with the Smackdown, but as you're gonna see, we have to hope that 2 Nature's Madness is going to be enough, and we have to hope that we can even get to the 2 Nature's Madness as the opponent will have access to the move of Aeroblast. And we have a CMPita here. This should be enough, right? The opponent got a defense drop there as well, and they survive with 1 HP. And down goes our Tapu Bulu to an Aeroblast, which is quite an awkward one, and we can move on to the next opponent. Dialga in the lead. This is going to be quite an interesting one here as well, as Dialga is going to be, I would say a neutral one. Like, it is definitely a neutral matchup for us. You can guarantee win this with the Tapu Bulu in the 2-shield scenario, like there's no way the opponent can deny you that. But you have to spend those 2 shields. Like, you're going to always lose in the 0 and in the 1-shield scenario, but being able to force alignment is quite nice. But also, if the opponent goes into something like a Lugia, what we can do is we can go ahead and get a ton of extra energy and then swap out into our Tyrannitar. Because now we're going to have a great matchup. No matter what the opponent's going to be in the back, like we're going to still have the Nature's Madness on our Tapu Bulu. I still decided to use, by the way, a shield here against the Aeroblast because it still would sting quite a bit. But we're gonna get those shields back hopefully now against the Dialga as we have access to the Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing is going to connect and get the shield from the opponent. We can try to reach another one in time here as well. But let's see what the opponent's gonna do. They decide to go for the Iron Head itself. We can swap out Landorus is going to go up against the Ho-Oh. And my only play is to hope that I can go for a Sensia Storm here. Hope that I get the bait done correctly. I do get the bait done correctly. I have to catch the move now. I have to go for the Nature's Madness on the CMPita to try to drop the opponent's defense stat here, which does work out as well. If they decide to go for a Brave Bird now, we still have a decent spot. They decide to go for the Brave Bird, so they're completely debuffed. I can go for another Nature's Madness to drop the defense to 0 basically, to like -4 I think it is then. Actually, it was already at -4. And so we don't even have to reach that Stone Edge. We can just go for the Sensia Storm and we will be able to win this battle. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have a Dialga in the lead here. This is going to be definitely, again, a neutral matchup. We can just stay in here, go for the Nature's Madness. You can always go, by the way, for 5 fast moves before throwing, because then you end up basically where the opponent's at 45 energy. They need 50 to get to the charge move. So 5 fast move of Tapu Bulu is usually the best way to go for it, because you're always going to have basically 1 then at advantage anyway for whatever matchup is going to happen afterwards. Here we can still go for another one, and they decided to actually let this move go through, so I sniped them with my Landorus, only losing 1 shield, but also going to be able to now get the Giratina out of the way. You know already, Giratina, mainly using the Ghost-type charge moves and fast moves, which means we're going to have a Pokemon in the back that is going to completely wall this thing, that they cannot do anything against us. At least that's what I hope. But what the opponent does here is actually quite smart. They decide to go ahead and go for another charge move here, which is of course kind of normal. But they decide to go for the Omnious Wind, and they're going to be able to get some extra fast move damage in here. And they're going to have a Mewtwo in the back. And okay, never mind. This should be kind of fine here, right? Unless they're going to have the Focus Blast. And Focus Blast is going to be for sure something that is going to be a little bit of a trickier one. So we decide to use a shield. And it's going to be a Side Strike. But there's no way they have Focus Blast now, right? We will find out. 2 Smackdowns, and we will find out that they have Focus Blast, but it's gonna go up against our Tapu Bulu, and with this, we're going to be in a great spot, as Psy Strike is not going to do any damage against us, double resisted Psy Strike, and we will see the Giratina coming in. We can go for the full farm down, and yeah, the opponent is just deciding to forfeit. Mewtwo in the lead. 99% of the time, if Mewtwo is in the lead, they don't have Focus Blast. Like, usually, Mewtwo in the lead is going to run the Shadow Ball and Psy Strike moveset, or Shadow Ball and Ice Beam. Like, those 2 movesets are kind of common on it. So, I doubt that they're going to have anything other than, like, Psy Strike and Shadow Ball. To be fair, Psy Strike coming through here, we're going to be able to use a shield. And as said before, basically, again, you can flip switch against the Palkia, usually guaranteed for the Landorus, but only really in the 2-shield scenario. So we're going to be in a tough spot. What we can try to do here is we can try to play out the 0 shields, actually, and go for a Stone Edge here. Is it going to be enough to align us? Like, I don't think it is, to be fair, and it actually is enough. And so, while they can go into their Mewtwo, I should be fine just walling them with my Tyrannitar, and I let the move go through. I don't care if this is going to be like a Focus Blast or anything, it's going to be the Psy Strike, which is kind of great. And we can get some extra energy here as I swap out into the Xerneas. I can try to go for a Stone Edge now. Stone Edge is going to be able to hopefully get the final shield, and now I can swap out. I still have my shield left as well. And we're going to be in a great spot, right? I don't know. I honestly don't know if we are going to be in a great spot, because Grass Knot is doing more damage than Nature's Madness, I think 10 damage extra, and it is just not enough. And so the opponent is going to be able to go for the full farm down with 1 HP left. I can go for the Smackdown, knock them out. But now it's down to a Tyrannitar against a loaded Mewtwo. Like, that Mewtwo is loaded by quite a lot of energy here. As you can see, the opponent goes for the Psy Strike. It's going to do quite a decent amount of damage, but they can still reach that next one in time. And is it going to be enough to knock us out? Let's find out together. It is not. And so we can go for the Crunch, Brutal Swing here, knock them out, and this is going to be game as we can move on to the next opponent. Primarina in the lead. As you saw before in the matchup against Primarina, I decided to go for the Nature's Madness. But I'm not always gonna go for that. I sometimes also decide to go for the big boom, knock them out, and let's take a look what they're going to have in the back. They're so far behind already. Melmetal. We know we have to align our Landorus against it, because otherwise you're going to have some problems against it. Landorus is our only answer for Melmetal. Melmetal kind of got a little bit more common recently. Maybe kind of want to take a look at this Pokemon again as well. But Rockslide is going to not do too much damage. There's forced to go for a charge move here as well. Totally fine. We can sacrifice our Tapu Bulu. The only issue would be a water type in the back. This is not a water type. This is a Lugia. This is a goodbye. Speaking of water types, look at this. We're going to have the Palkia Origin form against us, as the opponent is going to... I think they're only running shiny Pokemon. I think they had like a name. Also, they tagged me on Twitter. By the way, I'm very, very bad at replying to things. That is not me trying to be mean or being like extra or anything like this. I am just very bad at it. And so I see most of your posts. I appreciate most of your posts, unless they are very... against me, of course. No, but jokingly. But no, like, I see any kind of post usually below comments as well. I am just very bad at replying to people. I don't know why, but I don't know. But yeah, still, I appreciate everybody like tagging me or whatever. I saw your tag as well. They were on a 10-game win streak with their team here as well, and I ruined this, spoiler alert, because yeah, we are going to have an interesting matchup later on as the opponent goes for a Brave Bird. We had 2 shields down, but we have a Palkia against our Landorus, and we know the opponent has 2 Pokemon left. One of them is going to get hard-walled by my lead, the other one going to get hard-walled by my closer, and so there's no way the opponent can win this one. Like, we already know at this point that we're going to be kind of easily able to win this one, as far at least as I know here. And so, yeah, this was not really a big spoiler. But again, like, I see everybody who is tagging me as well on Twitter and stuff like this. I see everything. I don't always reply, but I do appreciate it still. It's just me being a little bit of a weirdo. Anyway, we're gonna see the Ocrotil connecting here, resisted, and I think double debuffed. Nature's Madness coming through. I just want to drop the opponent's defense, so Smackdown is going to smack a little bit more. They are running actually a triple shiny team, so I appreciate this one. Much love to the opponent here. Nature's Madness gonna get the shield here. We can see the Smackdown. Oh, honestly, like, what is this damage output? This is insane. We're gonna not even get the attack drop here, and so 2 more Smackdowns all it takes. Opponent's Palkia goes down. We can move on to the final battle of today. Honestly, I did not play a lot of GBL the last 3 days. Did I really miss it? A little bit, I think, yeah. Like, I actually did miss Go Bad League a little bit. The issue is just, for me, also the current cups are not things that I miss too much. Like, the current cups are quite bad. I see it on YouTube views as well, so I guess it's like the best week I could have chosen for moving. Next 2 weeks, by the way, or like next 3 weeks, are going to be a little bit tough on the channel here as well for me, because I am also having my university exams and stuff that I have to send into university. So yeah, it's going to be still a little bit of a tougher weeks for me coming up, but I'm excited for like the Go Fest period, and like especially for the new season afterwards. That's going to be a lot of fun. Also, even like the World Championship finals. Definitely stay tuned for some videos from me towards it as well. So like the summer content going to be quite a nice thing for this channel just the next month, or like something going to be a little bit more of a tougher one for me to really deal with. But anyway, hopefully Niantic is going to give us some good events. The recent events were like, yeah, they were okay. Like when was the last Pokemon that got really released? I think it was still like the... No, it was actually some wild spawn, I think. But yeah, anyway, like this opponent here is going to be able to go for the awkward tier. They're still going to have their Necrozma in the back. And honestly, I feel like Master League kind of lost its vibe because of the Necrozmas and whatever. But as you can see here, you're going to be able to just go ahead, go into a Tyrannitar. I kind of want to play Dark right now, to be fair. I'm going to play Dark right most likely later, because hunting down the Necrozma seems like a fun idea, especially now after the Go Fest in Madrid. And so, yeah, Tyrannitar is going to be kind of nice here, being able to take the Moongeist Beam without any kind of graphics on it, which is cool Niantic. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you still enjoyed it, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.